thing. You have to look at it this way. The simulacrum uses very little energy when people are on autopilot. Because when people are on autopilot, they are controllable. They are controlled, and most importantly, the immortals trapped in the simulacrum are predictable. Once you are predictable, the simulacrum's got you. It can easily fit you into any niche of dungeon programming and fool you into believing that you're free because you had a choice. But if the simulacrum gives you the choice of being a Hindu, it gives you the choice of being a Taoist, gives you the choice of being a Southern Baptist, gives you the choice of being a student of the Gnosis, gives you a choice of being a Buddhist, and you take one of those choices, was it really freedom to take something that was provided before you? Couldn't there have been? I mean, Socrates and many other ancient philosophers had a saying, go by unexpected ways or walk by paths unknown. Man, that's a deep philosophical statement. But it's not a popular one because the simulacrum's been trying to edit out that behavior for a very long time. It does not like mavericks. It does not like those it cannot predict. It cannot control. The law of conservation of energy mandates that a control system can expend the least amount of energy controlling the most amount of independent things if they are all doing the same thing. This is dungeon programming. This is why all these different echelons of society always try to pigeonhole you into being something that is conformist. It doesn't matter what you conform to, as long as you assume the behavior of that herd. Those protocols have already been written, and the simulacrum wastes no energy on that. You have basically fallen into a reality tunnel that's already been knit. It's already been empowered. It's been flowing for a long time. Therefore, the simulacrum has not expended hardly any energy on you making that decision and you proving to yourself that you're free when you're not. Dungeon programming is herd mentality. It's going with the flow. It's being a lemming and just running with the rest of the pack until you fall off a cliff into the sea. That's dungeon programming. Dungeon programming is waking up every single morning and doing the same things you did the day before. No variety whatsoever. The simulacrum does not fear you if that is your itinerary on a daily basis. The simulacrum doesn't fear anything you know, anything that you share with other people, or anything, because what you do is a language that this coding reacts to, not what you say. This was the point of my prior video. There is nothing that comes out of a man's mouth that is important or a threat to the simulacrum. Additionally, there is nothing that comes out of a man's mouth that can benefit a man or a woman. And there's nothing the divine, the oversoul, will respond to verbally. It won't. All that does is create an informed field. But once an informed field is created, it's like, wait, now the entire multiverse they're watching. All eyes are on you. You just created an informed field. Why is that important? Because the simulacrum knows that within it are co-creators. Every single awakened immortal within the simulacrum that understands its co-creation, creative capacity, and understands that it can create forms out of thought, is a threat. Must be herded must be corralled into some type of herd. This is why when someone begins to awaken, when someone begins to detach themselves from the mental constructs that are assumed by the herds around them, this is why you go through negative default programming episodes. This is why negative things begin to happen to you, things that are out of sync, not just in the physical world, but even emotionally. This is when you become separation anxiety. Is a lot of people feel the same. I did for a while. You go through the separation anxiety deal and you don't even know what you're separated from. You just feel it. The simulacrum is going to try hard to get you through fear and emotion to get back into the herd. And as soon as you conform, all of a sudden good things start happening for you. As soon as you are not costing it all this extra energy, because it costs the simulacrum a lot to try to knit new reality tunnels to try to predict what your next move is. Because the simulacrum only has access to you for a short period of time, about 30% of your life. During that 30% of your life, there is no contact between the immortal soul and the simulacrum itself. We know this as REM sleep, because in REM sleep, that is the only time that the brain is unshielded. The immortal that is possessing that central nervous system is detached. And then the simulacrum can go in and write new coding, knit new protocols, do all kinds of things to that brain, try to change it, try to figure out what's going on, and it goes through. And from our perspective, we're dreaming. Man, we're seeing all these flash images. We're doing this. We're experiencing emotions and all that. It's the simulacrum invasively going through our brain, trying to figure us out, because we are parasites. We are spiritual parasites that do not belong in this artificial universe. We are real. It is not. It is a coding protocol. It is a series of holographic algorithmic templates that were designed by an enemy, and it has contained us temporarily. It's why we're here, but we're only here temporarily. We have a benefactor. Remember, the prophecies are true. He came to set the captives free. All the prophecies are in past tense. All this was coded. It's all going to happen. Ain't none of it not going to happen. So what you have to understand about dungeon programming is first, it's not your fault. There is nothing you did to put you in the situation that you're in. It's the simulacrum. We are always blamed for our own ineptitudes. We are always blamed for our own lack of knowledge. We are always blamed for our own mistakes. But are they really mistakes when we walk through this dungeon of life and we make the wrong decisions? Sometimes I go through life and every single decision I made that day was the wrong decision. I go through days like that. But is it really our fault when the entire coded holographic universe around us is against us in everything? So dreaming is not something I lend credit for. People tell me I had this dream as this, and you know what? I don't dream at all. I've had 3 dreams that I remember my entire life. I did a video about it. I explained it, and I moved on. And I have never claimed ever again to have had another dream, because I don't dream. I don't know why. I've talked about it with friends and family. I just don't dream. When I go to sleep, I wake up. I'm done. It's almost like I totally shut down. And when I was in prison, I was the exact same way. I slept like I didn't fear anybody killing me in my sleep. I just did. I mean, I don't understand why I am the way I am. I just figured whatever, I'm gonna roll with the punches. Whatever happens is meant to happen. This is why I never struggle for anything. And I have many stories I could tell you of just phenomenal things that happened for me by not worrying about it. Just creating a mental image of a problem, and then addressing that problem verbally out loud, and then making the decision out loud that I'm not even going to worry about it, because this is what's going to happen. Somebody's going to come through with this. I'm going to find somehow this. Somebody's going to answer a bid, and I'm going to be able to pay for all this. And every single time it happens, but never in the way that I want or predict.